It's hard to imagine that this young attractive woman can be so dangerous, but if you're a foreigner or a tourist, a chance encounter with her could mean being kidnapped or losing all your possessions with your finances decimated, and that's if you're lucky. Because if you fight back, you could lose your life. This documentary focuses on the 5 months preceding Natalie's arrest and the events which led to her downfall. This is a person who hides malicious intent under the guise of being harmless. She is Medellin's honey trap, kidnap vixen. Yarith Nathalid Grueso Madrid, a 21-year-old from Medellin. Her friends call her Natalia or Natalie. Attractive, intelligent, plus she speaks English, and so she's just the kind of girl that you want around for your vacation to Colombia. An adult performer as a webcam model, an aspect of her life which she only shared with a few people. But it appears that shaking her backside for men online wasn't sufficient. She was ambitious and she wanted more money. And so with the new influx of tourists and foreigners visiting Medellin and Colombia as a whole, there may just be an opportunity. And so in a surprise twist, working with her boyfriend Jesse Crilly, a Canadian national, they devised a plan to make money, their strategy to kidnap tourists. Medellin, August 2023, 5 months before her downfall, and Natalia is thirsty looking for another victim. She met tough as nails Boogie, the man who will cross her path on that fateful day. On the streets of Provenza is where they first met.
I met a girl. It's always about a girl, right? A very pretty girl in Provenza. She didn't approach me, I approached her.
Portraying herself as harmless, Natalia, now going under the name of Carolina, makes an acquaintance with Boogie. She is smiley, very friendly, and charming.
She's got good English. She's really cute, beautiful, pretty, hot, everything. Tattoos. We go for one beer, conversation. She likes coffee in the gym and this kind of thing. So she spoke good English and it felt like there was chemistry.
But that chemistry was probably only resonating in one direction, because Natalie had other plans for Boogie.
We both said we like this Pergamino coffee shop. We agreed to meet there the next day. I was gonna work remote. She shows up with a really cute French bulldog.
Probably a gift from her boyfriend. The French bulldog made her appear even more harmless.
It all seemed to me very like above board, and I was like, well, look, I'm going to this MMA gym. Do you want to come? She said, sure. I just need to drop my dog and change my clothes. I got to order an Uber, so I get her address, so I know where we're going. And I look on the map to make sure it's a good area. I see it's in Berlin. I got friends who live in Berlin. I know there's some dodgy parts of Berlin, but for the most part, it's all right.
With her charming smile, Boogie felt he had nothing to worry about.
Yeah, so as I put the address in the Uber, and I don't know what I did, I showed it to her or something, she's like, oh, this is gonna take too long, let's just get a taxi. I was like, cool, which was definitely a mistake.
And so they make the 15-minute ride from Poblado to Belén.
Maybe it seemed like she didn't know where she was going, and she was a bit quiet, and she said she felt sick from the coffee, but she had no food, which I know that happens, like it's happened to me, so like it's kind of, there was a weird different vibe, but it didn't seem anything that bad.
Little did he know that Natalia was leading him into a trap. As they approach the house, he's about to be her next victim.
She opens the door, she walks in, she's like, oh, can you close the door? And I'm looking at the place, it looks like a clean Airbnb. Took my bag off and put it on the first chair. Like I must have closed the door, put my bag down. And then right away, I guess they were upstairs. They just had come down the stairs and 2 guys pop out.
Natalia had successfully completed her mission by luring Boogie back to the apartment, where 2 men carrying guns were waiting. They attempt to kidnap Boogie, but thanks to his jiu-jitsu and tactical training, he was more than ready.
But there was a lot of scuffling, there was a lot of hits back and forth, and like guy lost his gun. I think the first time the guy hit me on the head, his mag came out. Then he must have shot at me somewhere in between, like maybe 6+ times.
I'm here in the hospital.
I think I got shot maybe 3 or 4 times. I think they were just glancing wounds, but I got pistol whipped a few times. I stupidly fought the 2 guys, but they wanted to tape me up. There was no way I was going to let that happen. They were going to have to shoot me if they wanted to tape me.
This video was recorded by Boogie shortly after the attempted kidnapping. Panicked and breathing heavily, you could see the remnants of the struggle.
La cámara estuvo aquí. Tú no tienes cámara.
Cámara?
Sí. No.
No mi casa.
The police asked him if there's a security camera.
¿Esa es casa o vendidos casa? No mi casa.
With blood on the walls, the police failed to realize that Boogie was lured to that residence and he doesn't actually live there.
Amiga, ¿no este? Amigos, ¿quién habla de mí?
Vamos, que tú eres un berraco de puta que no te dejaste robar.
Mi estilo.
Ay, no te estoy diciendo. Acá tiene que venir sin amigo, salga para que
The place is an absolute mess and the police advised to leave the property for security reasons.
¿Sí?
Sí, ya las tengo. No. Vamos para que te atiendan, vamos. Gringo, ¿qué buscas, Gringo? ¿Qué pasó?
Este.
¿Qué pasó, men? ¿Qué pasó?
No.
¿Qué buscas?
Ok.
Vamos para que te atiendan. Vamos, mira el bolso. Llévatelo.
Boogie was looking for his tactical pen in which he'd use to defend himself, and he didn't want to leave without it. And so, probably due to Boogie's courage, his resilience, and a little bit of luck, Natalia faced a major setback. Her plan, which probably involved her boyfriend, Jesse Crilly, to kidnap and hold Boogie, presumably for a couple of days, where during that time they will liquidate his finances. But the plan had failed. It is presumed that Jesse Crilly was watching from the shadows, but for Natalia, this was just a setback, and the show goes on. Soon after Boogie's attempted kidnapping, an event which left him shot at least 6 times, the news spread and he sat down for an interview on this channel where we publicated the girl's photographs. Shortly after, we received an anonymous tip from a man claiming to have found the girl who lured Boogie into a trap. It is important to note that at this point, no one actually knew who Natalia actually was. And so the Obi Laand team, along with Boogie, reviewed the evidence provided. And it was a match. The tattoos were matching, the location was matching, and the face was matching. And with regards to her precious French bulldog, there was also a photo matching. And so now we had a face. The intention of the Obi Laand team was to investigate further, with the intention of submitting evidence to the police. But for various reasons, it never materialized. 3 months later, Cali, November 2023. Natalia is now in Cali, still up to the same tricks. She is a woman on a mission. And this time the victims will be Abi Sheikh and his close friend Karsh. Abi is no stranger to Colombia and has visited on many occasions, with Cali being one of his favorite places. Prior to any negative experiences, he can often be heard telling people,
"Love Colombia, best country in the world."
He says that Colombia is the best country in the world, but maybe his opinion on this has since changed. On the 23rd of November, Abi invited friends for a get-together. His friend Karsh invited Natalia, who introduced herself as Nicole. They had met at a language exchange course.
And Nicole ends up showing up with her friend Natty, who I know for about a year. Again, I've met her a couple of times in my life, and Karsh has also met Natty through me, and apparently Natty was who introduced Karsh to Nicole.
The girls are all using fake names or aliases. Natalia is Nicole, while her friend goes under the alias of Natty. They both make their way to Abi's luxury apartment in Granada, and they begin the party.
Natty goes into the bathroom to change. She's like, "I need a lot of time to change. I need to get ready." Nicole is like, "Oh, I have a friend who's dropping something off and I have to wait for her here."
Unbeknown to Abi, Natalia, aka Nicole, was actually setting them up, and the friend she had to wait for are actually hired kidnappers.
About 15 to 20 minutes later, Nicole's friend arrives and Karsh goes to check in on her. I call one of my other friends who lives in Cali. I told him like, hey, something's going on, like something doesn't feel right. Just in case, here's my address. And while I'm saying that, I feel a gun to my head.
Natalia, aka Nicole, had finally been successful as a group of men carrying guns enter Abby's apartment. Confused, Abby and his friend Karsh are quickly subdued, with Natalia giving out instructions.
Later on, I was informed by Nicole. So she tells us that these guys are here to use our credit cards. The main goal is to swipe our credit cards for multiple days. They came in on a Thursday and they're going to stay till a Sunday.
With Abby and Karsh cooperating, everything appears to be going accordingly to Natalia's, aka Nicole's, plan.
At some point we ask for water. I drink half of it. Karsh realizes the water is drugged, so he refuses to drink it. And they put a gun to his head, get aggressive with him, and make him drink the whole drugged water.
With the kidnappers realizing that someone may visit the next day to clean Abby's pool, they relocate to Palmetto Hotel, a hotel on the sleazy side of town, a place where one can indulge in all kinds of games.
This was a very sketchy hotel, people doing drugs, prostitutes all around. They take us all the way to the 4th or 5th floor. This hotel was called Palmetto Hotel. It's in this very shady part of the city.
Still in control of the situation, Natalia, alias Nicole, is on the phone with her Canadian boyfriend, Jesse Crilly.
And then Nicole comes in. She's on the phone with some guy, let's call him the Gringo, because it was a person who spoke American English and barely spoke Spanish.
This person was Jesse Alexander Bernard Crilly, a Canadian national, a foreigner, and along with Natalia is the mastermind behind the plot to kidnap foreigners by hiring local thugs to do their bidding for them.
And that person tells us, hey, these guys are not going to kill you, but if you don't follow what they ask you, they're going to kill you. And he was, again, like, the plan is for them to use up your credit cards. Tomorrow morning, they're going to go out, use your credit cards, debit cards.
And so with Jesse Crilly monitoring the situation remotely, everything was going according to plan, with Natalia, aka Nicole, relaying Abby's financial info back to Jesse.
Nicole coming in and out, asking us, oh, is this whose credit card is what, whose ID is what, sending pictures of all our credit cards to this Gringo guy over WhatsApp. His name was saved as 222.
And so the spending starts with the kidnappers splitting into two, but soon there is an argument between the kidnappers.
Nicole calls the Gringo and she's like, everything that's happening, like everything's falling apart. And then the Gringo tells me, it's like, transfer me more money so I can transfer these guys money. And I'm like, no, but these guys want money right now. And the homicide guy's like, I want to buy gold or a motorcycle. The Gringo is like, okay, do whatever they say. If they want gold, buy them gold.
And so with discontent among the hired kidnappers, Jesse and Natalia decide to pacify them, and in particular to pacify a kidnapper recently released for murder, aka homicide guy. He wanted a motorcycle or some gold, so Natalia along with Abby and the homicide guy go to Centro to buy these items.
Homicide guy gets himself a ring, and then Nicole is trying to act like my girlfriend and just like, asking me like, oh baby, what do you want, what do you like, just so that it looks like I'm making the decision because my card is going to be used. So I'm able to play it off pretty cool because I'm also in a better mood by now.
And so, after nearly 48 hours of being held, and with the kidnappers feeling satisfied with what they had achieved financially, they released Abby and Karsh, leaving Natalia feeling satisfied. Soon after, it was all over the news regarding the rescue of Abby and Karsh, with a Colombian military unit, which is responsible for tackling kidnapping incidents, taking credit for the rescue. Abby was finally safe, as it could have easily gone wrong, just like the story of Tu Jia Zhang, who was set up by his 19-year-old girlfriend and murdered by his kidnappers. And for now, Jesse Crilly and Natalia probably thought they had gotten away with it, as Natalia focused on being 1 month pregnant for her boyfriend Jesse. But the special military unit for kidnapping, called Gaola, will not rest, as they conducted investigations to locate the perpetrators of this crime. They will go on to follow every lead, leaving no stones unturned. Taking this matter very seriously, they were determined to catch those responsible for ruining the image of Cali and Colombia as a whole in the eyes of tourists and foreigners. And so 2 months after the kidnapping, on 29th of January 2024, a raid was conducted in which Natalia and some of her accomplices were arrested. Jesse Crilly, her boyfriend, was also present at the time of her arrest, but was let go due to the police not having the correct paperwork. Natty, Natalia's friend, who was also present at the time of the intrusion into Abby's apartment, was also arrested, but she will soon be let go due to not taking part in the actual kidnapping. But she is still linked to the investigation. A couple of weeks later, on 9th February 2024, Jesse Alexander Bernard Crilly was finally arrested. He was captured trying to escape into Panama by immigration officials. These are the only photos of him. As for Yarith Nathalid Madrid Grueso, her reign was over. The sweet, innocent, attractive 21-year-old with a French bulldog was finally captured, and her real persona was exposed. At 21 years of age, she was sentenced to 25 years in a prison in Cali. Nicole was a persona she had invented to make her victims believe she was harmless, but the reality is she was the real monster. Shortly after, she contacts Abby via Instagram, looking for sympathy, pleading, yet failing to take responsibility for her actions, stating that she's a 21-year-old and doesn't want to spend her whole life in prison. Lacking accountability, she is more concerned about her current predicament rather than the pain she has caused her victims, as she claims to not be a bad person. And so, it's an end of an era for Natalia, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a femme fatale, a real-life Delilah, bringing misery to male tourists in Colombia that she viewed as prey. And so this is her story.